We're going to do whatever we do to get this black man. We're going to do whatever we can to get this black man out of here.
But he's like,
what makes Freeman's rare expressions of professional displeasure particularly significant is his reputation for diplomatic restraint and measured responses to industry conflicts. When an actor earns Freeman's genuine antipathy, it represents a serious breach of the professional standards he holds sacred. His hatred has typically emerged from experiences where colleagues demonstrated disrespect for the craft, fellow performers, or the collaborative process that makes great cinema possible. These conflicts reveal the hidden costs of working with difficult personalities and the price that even the most patient professionals will eventually refuse to pay for the sake of maintaining artificial harmony. 6. Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy's troubled relationship with Morgan Freeman began during their collaboration on a project where Murphy's unprofessional behavior and disregard for established filming protocols created an atmosphere of chaos that Freeman found intolerable. Their clash represented a fundamental divide between Freeman's old-school professionalism and Murphy's more casual approach to set etiquette and collaborative responsibility. Freeman's frustration with Murphy stemmed not from personal animosity, but from the comedian's apparent disrespect for the craft and his fellow performers' time. The tension emerged during production when Murphy would arrive hours late to set, unprepared for scenes, and seemingly more interested in entertaining crew members with impromptu comedy routines than focusing on the work at hand. Freeman, who prided himself on punctuality and thorough preparation, watched with growing dismay as Murphy's behavior disrupted carefully planned shooting schedules. Director Rob Reiner later revealed that Freeman's patience wore thin when Murphy's antics began affecting other actors' performances and the overall production quality. Murphy's tendency to break character during dramatic scenes to make jokes or seek laughs from the crew particularly galled Freeman, who viewed such behavior as fundamentally disrespectful to the storytelling process. Their scenes together became exercises in professional endurance, with Freeman maintaining his dignity while Murphy seemed oblivious to the disruption his behavior caused. Script supervisor Janet Hershenson recalled Freeman's visible frustration during multiple takes ruined by Murphy's inability to maintain character consistency. Freeman's private assessment was characteristically measured but devastating. Eddie confused being funny with being professional, which is why he never understood that great comedy requires the same discipline as great drama. 5. Will Smith. Will Smith's placement among Morgan Freeman's most disliked actors represents a more complex form of professional antipathy. Freeman's distaste for what he perceived as Smith's calculating approach to career advancement and artificial charm. Their relationship soured not through dramatic confrontation, but through Freeman's growing awareness of Smith's manipulative behavior behind his public persona of likability and success. Freeman found Smith's carefully constructed image and strategic relationship building fundamentally inauthentic and contrary to genuine artistic development. Their initial collaboration began promisingly, with Freeman appreciating Smith's work ethic and apparent respect for veteran performers. However, Freeman gradually became aware of Smith's pattern of using relationships with respected actors like himself to enhance his own credibility and awards prospects. Producer Jerry Bruckheimer later revealed that Freeman felt used by Smith's tendency to publicize their professional relationship, while privately showing little genuine interest in learning from Freeman's experience and wisdom. The breaking point came when Smith began publicly crediting Freeman as a mentor, while simultaneously ignoring his advice about project selection and character development. Freeman interpreted this behavior as the worst kind of Hollywood opportunism, using an established actor's reputation to enhance your own while showing no genuine respect for their guidance. His subsequent distancing from Smith became a masterclass in professional disengagement. Freeman's final assessment captured his fundamental disappointment. Will mastered the appearance of depth without ever committing to the difficult work of actually finding it, which is the difference between being a movie star and being an actor. 4. Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe's inclusion among Morgan Freeman's most despised actors reflects Freeman's particular intolerance for volcanic temperaments and unprofessional behavior that disrupts the collaborative atmosphere essential to quality filmmaking. Their relationship deteriorated during a high-profile production, where Crowe's legendary temper and controlling behavior created an environment of tension that Freeman found both exhausting and counterproductive. Freeman's animosity toward Crowe stemmed from the Australian actor's apparent belief that intensity justified rudeness, and that talent excused unprofessional conduct. The conflict began when Crowe challenged Freeman's interpretation of scenes and attempted to direct other actors' performances without consulting the actual director. Freeman, despite his diplomatic nature, found Crowe's presumptuous behavior insufferable and contrary to the collaborative spirit that makes great cinema possible. Director Ridley Scott later revealed that Freeman's patience was tested by Crowe's tendency to berate crew members and create unnecessary drama during what should have been straightforward filming days. The relationship reached its breaking point when Crowe publicly criticized Freeman's old-fashioned approach to acting during press interviews, suggesting that younger actors brought more authenticity to their roles. Freeman interpreted this attack as both personally insulting and professionally ignorant, representing everything he disliked about actors who confused self-indulgence with artistic commitment. His subsequent refusal to work with Crowe again became legendary in Hollywood circles. Freeman's assessment was uncharacteristically sharp. Russell mistook being difficult for being deep, which is why he never learned that real intensity comes from discipline, not drama. 3. Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson's position among Morgan Freeman's most hated actors represents Freeman's deepest professional and moral disappointment. The recognition that extraordinary talent could coexist with dangerous personal beliefs and destructive behavior. Their relationship began with mutual respect based on Gibson's directorial achievements and apparent commitment to serious filmmaking, but deteriorated as Freeman became aware of Gibson's troubling personal views and their impact on his professional judgment. Freeman's animosity toward Gibson reflects both artistic disappointment and moral revulsion. Their collaboration on potential projects revealed Gibson's tendency to inject his personal obsessions and controversial viewpoints into creative decisions, something Freeman found both unprofessional and morally objectionable. Producer Brian Grazer later revealed that Freeman withdrew from several Gibson-directed projects after becoming aware of the director's attempts to incorporate questionable historical interpretations and personal biases into supposedly objective storytelling. Freeman viewed this behavior as a fundamental betrayal of the filmmaker's responsibility to serve the story rather than personal agenda. Gibson's well-documented personal problems and public controversies created additional tension when Freeman found himself associated with projects that could be interpreted as endorsing Gibson's worldview. The final break came when Gibson's personal scandals and controversial statements became impossible to separate from his professional work, forcing Freeman to choose between career opportunities and personal integrity. Freeman's decision to publicly distance himself from Gibson represented one of his rare departures from diplomatic neutrality, signaling the entertainment industry that some behaviors crossed lines that talent couldn't excuse. Freeman's ultimate judgment was devastatingly final. Mel taught me that brilliance without character is just dangerous intelligence. And dangerous intelligence has no place in storytelling that shapes how people see the world. 2. Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner's placement near the top of Morgan Freeman's hate list represents Freeman's particular frustration with actors whose success inflated their egos beyond their actual abilities, creating impossible working conditions for more experienced performers. Their relationship deteriorated during Costner's peak period when his triple-threat ambitions as actor, director, and producer created a megalomaniacal approach to filmmaking that Freeman found insufferable. Freeman's animosity toward Costner stemmed from the younger actor's apparent belief that box office success qualified him as an artistic visionary. Their collaboration began during Costner's Dances with Wolves success period, when the actor's confidence had transformed into something Freeman perceived as dangerous arrogance. Costner's tendency to override directors, rewrite scenes, and micromanage other actors' performances created an atmosphere of creative chaos that Freeman found both unprofessional and counterproductive. Producer Jim Wilson later revealed that Freeman's diplomatic protests about Costner's controlling behavior were repeatedly ignored, leading to escalating professional tension. Costner's directorial pretensions and his habit of treating established actors like Freeman as supporting players in his personal vision particularly galled Freeman's sense of professional hierarchy and collaborative respect. Freeman's private assessment was characteristically measured but devastating. Kevin confused success with wisdom, which is why he never learned that true leadership means serving the story, not being served by everyone else. 1. Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen holds the dubious distinction of being Morgan Freeman's most despised actor, representing everything Freeman finds reprehensible about Hollywood's tolerance for self-destructive behavior and unprofessional conduct. Their relationship began with Freeman's cautious optimism about Sheen's early dramatic potential, but deteriorated into complete professional disgust as Sheen's personal problems began destroying not just his own career, but the working environment for everyone around him. Freeman's hatred of Sheen reflects both artistic disappointment and moral outrage at behavior that endangered cast, crew, and production integrity. Sheen's legendary unpredictability and substance abuse problems created filming conditions that Freeman found both dangerous and disrespectful to the collaborative process that makes professional filmmaking possible. Their limited collaboration revealed Sheen's complete disregard for basic professional courtesies like punctuality, preparation, and consistent performance quality. Producer Chuck Lorre later revealed that Freeman's concerns about Sheen's behavior proved prophetic as the actor's problems escalated beyond what any production could accommodate or excuse. The situation deteriorated when Sheen's personal scandals began affecting not just his own reputation, but the professional standing of everyone associated with his